Hey everybody, welcome back. Another week of Up North Journal.
We are back. That's right. It's Thursday night, and here we are.
It is Thursday night.
It is the last Thursday of January.
You know what? You're right. I didn't even think about that. This year is already skating by.
Right?
Well, you ready to kick this thing off?
Almost ready. Give me a couple seconds here.
All right.
Make sure my...
You let me know when you're ready, and I'll start the record, and we will get on with tonight's show.
All right.
Okay, here we go. Stand by in 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back to another episode of the Up North Journal podcast. Everybody, I'm host Mike Adams, sitting in a warm cabin tonight in cold temperatures in Michigan with none other than Dan DeFall. What's going on?
Staying warm. 19 degrees. Here we are, folks.
Yeah, it's a balmy 19.
You're right. It is a balmy because it was single digits, I think, this morning.
Was it? It was 14 when I got up and left for work, but that was at 9 o'clock. So
it was pretty chilly.
Chilly, just a little bit.
Just a little chilly.
All right.
But you know what? It's the last Thursday of January.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 month from now, 28th to the 28th, we'll be going into March. So hopefully we only got like 1 month left of this hard stuff, and then we'll turn the tide.
Roll Tide, you say?
If you want to roll a tide, you go right ahead. As long as they beat Ohio State, I don't care.
Well, let's take care of some business, man.
Well, let's do that. You know what? It's 19 degrees out.
Yeah.
But what better thing to do than drink some Hunter's Blend coffee?
I got mine right here.
That's right. And if you use our promo code, capital UNJ, underneath Mike's finger, if you're watching on the show, or if you type it in when you check it out, you'll get your discount upon checkout.
At huntersblendcoffee.com.
That's right. But that's not all. If you go over to our friend and folks at Deer Camp, otherwise known as Buck Baits, check out their website at buckbaits.com. Use the promo code Up North Journal. You can get your percentage off when you check out there as well. Make sure you get over there, check out all the new stuff that he's putting on the site consistently.
All right, so before we get started, a couple quick shout-outs. Mark Coleman, hey, I knew you'd be in. Yeah, let's do this. I'm ready, man. Tammy Delk, hey, boys. Hey, right back at you, Tammy. So, are we ready just to kick this thing off?
Let's go to Wyoming.
You want to go? I'd like to take a trip to Wyoming. You know, I know we know somebody out there.
Right.
We got Jim Stephan on. Hey, Jim, what's going on, buddy?
What's going on, guys? How are you doing?
Hey, well, we're trying to stay warm, but we talked to you here before the show started, and actually it's warmer there where you're at than it is here. Go figure that.
Right, exactly, and nothing.
How does that happen?
I know, right? A guest is warmer than we are. It's like he's 42 and we're 19. It's like, okay, you win.
Right on. So how you been, man? It's been what, 12 years or so?
Yeah, it's been a hot minute.
Yeah, or two, yeah.
Yeah. Things are going really good. Just living life out here. Honestly, man, itching for spring. It's time for turkey season, but we've been slaying the fish. Ice fishing's been slamming pretty good, and wish we'd get some snow to help with the snowpack and get some moisture, but you just got to deal with it. But I'm not complaining being 42 degrees at 5:30 at night.
No, not at all. Being like that and 42 degrees. I know when we'll eventually get back to 42, it'll seem like we need shorts. But like you said about the snow, what's your snow levels like? Because we just had an article here in Michigan that said that actually Michigan is at record lows for ice. So what's it like out there for your snowpack wise? Are you down? Are you up? Or what's going on?
I have not personally heard what the snowpack count is up in the high country, but I mean down here we haven't had snow, legitimate snow, since beginning of October.
Wow.
I mean earlier this week, woke up, everything was white, but it was gone by 10 o'clock. But other than that, it's kind of been pretty pathetic. We all joke February's probably just going to hammer us, but we all cross our fingers that, you know, come spring, it's a very rainy, wet season. But if not, who knows what's going to happen.
Well, that's kind of the way it is here in Michigan. I think we got our biggest snowfall this week we've had all year, and it's only the first time I've shoveled a driveway, actually. And we got 3.5, 4 inches.
Right, exactly. And one of the nights, and I can't remember which night it was. It might have been Monday night, but I got up at 1 o'clock to let the dogs out, and it was foggy. Mm-hmm. And then the next morning, it hit all the ice fog on the trees, right?
Right.
But yeah, like I said, we're down on our ice cap. Snow, we're not even close to what we typically are.
Right.
But yeah, and you need it out there just like we do. So, like you said, though, Jim, guarantee you it's going to even out somewhere.
Oh, it always does. You know, well, looking back, you were running with us. We were doing stuff together out in North Journal back when we first started. Then you moved out to Wyoming. I think you said the other night it's been 12 years since you've been out there?
Yes, 12 years.
Okay, so let's just jump into what we want to talk about tonight. You know, coming from Michigan, you know, you were raised here in Michigan, hunted here in Michigan, and then all of a sudden you said to me one day, "Hey, I'm moving to Wyoming. I'm going out there and I'm going to try to cut a track out there and make a go of it." You know, for going out there, what did you notice? The big difference between Michigan and Wyoming, other than being in the mountains, obviously, and the air is a lot thinner. What are some of the things that you ran into?
I mean, number one, the biggest thing was, so you guys, I was in Flushing there, or Swartz Creek area, and, you know, Genesee County, population in Genesee County is 500,000 plus, and then moved to a state that is the total population.
And 3 times the size of our state.
Yeah, blew me away. You know, I remember way back when I was moving out here, trying to find a job, making phone calls. The one lady I talked to, she was like, the first thing I'm going to recommend when you drive into Cody, and so I should back up. The first place I lived when I moved to Wyoming was Cody.
Okay.
And she made the statement, when you pull into town, pull over, take a deep breath, and let your heart rate drop about 3 beats a minute.
Okay.
Because that's the pace we roll.
Yeah.
Understandable. Now actually being out here, understanding, yeah, that's the lifestyle. You know, it's not get it done in a day to boom, 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 and then drive home and jam. No, it's way more kickback, relaxed. I hate to put that on the internet because more and more people keep moving here.
Right.
So,
well,
it's a slower pace way of life is the way to put it.
Well, do you even see that
Yes.
with hunting? The style of hunting you do. I mean, is it slowed down compared to what the hunting you do here in Michigan?
no, I actually made the statement to one of my coworkers today. I said I would probably shoot myself in the foot if I had to move back to where I came from, because no offense, it's literally deer season, turkey season.
Right.
So out here, I can honestly say you can shoot or kill something 365 days a year, legally.
Wow.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
And that's putting
Right.
food on the table. It's not necessarily just out shooting something to shoot something.
Well, I mean, you can predator hunting, bird hunting. You know, that's what I mean by you could legally fire your rifle 365 days a year at something and be in nature.
Well, you sure can't do that here,
Right.
No.
or else you'll get a visit from your local police officer or conservation officer
Right.
asking, "What are you doing?"
Okay, so looking back at that time when you first got there and you got your first license and you went out that first year, let's talk about some of the things that you encountered that you didn't expect. That coming from the Midwest, going out there, it's like, wow, I didn't think about that, or I've got to change that type of gear. Just kind of run over a couple things here that might help some people out there that are watching or listening right now.
Or did you go in there? Did you go in there thinking, well, I'm just going to handle it like I would in Michigan?
Yeah, it was a huge eye-opener. It, back in Michigan, you guys go to your deer blind and you sit and wait. And you wait, and you wait, and you wait. Here, it's spot stalk, it's hike, and it's get out of your truck and actually go do something.
Put some boots on the ground, get out and move, and get to where the game's at. And that might take you half a day, I would assume. That's big country.
Yeah. I was clueless. I mean, it was mind-blowing. Wow. Like, I have no idea what I'm doing out here, honestly. When I first moved out here, the first year I was actually able to elk hunt, I had no clue what I was doing. And even to this day, I'm not an expert. I mean, I'm no means, hate to name drop like Jim Shockey or anything. It is simply get out there every day. Every hunt is something new. The biggest fear out here is, grizzly bears, wolves, blah, blah, blah. Put all that aside and just focus on what you're doing, and you'll adapt to the scenario. Mike knows from way back in the day when I first pulled into the state of Wyoming and first seen my antelope, I was like, oh my God, there's an antelope, and I slammed on the brakes, pulled over just to look at one. And a Michigan kid, that's a huge deal.
Yep, absolutely.
Now you hear people, it's like, I wouldn't shoot that stinky speed goat. Blah, 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 blah. That's one of my favorite things to eat is antelope.
Okay.
It's fun. They're stupid fun to hunt. I mean,
I've heard that from a lot of people that's went out there and experienced that. They said there's just something about it that's different.
Yeah. Yep. So take a young punk kid, 12 years ago to now. It was. You had to take that Michigan chip off your shoulder and allow people and other hunters to actually reteach you a new way of hunting, and it's been phenomenal. I got a huge group of friends and family that snap a finger, hey boys, let's head up hunting here, do this. I mean, no one out here truly hunts alone. I mean, yeah, you might go out solo, but somebody knows exactly where you're at, and you keep contact. And with modern technology now, that it's pretty cool that you can hit the backcountry, split up with a partner, and meet back at point A and go from there. So,
right. Well, and it's got to be important to do that too, being that in the big area that you're in. If something were to happen, somebody needs to know where you're at. So it's probably a smart thing to be hunting with another person in the same area.
And I mean, it goes back to the same thing in Michigan with hunter safety. The number one thing is be safe. To this day, I mean, I'm 41 years old. In my pack, I have a first aid kit. I have survival gear in case the worst happens.
Absolutely.
I mean,
That's right. Always be prepared.
Twist an ankle, something. Yeah, I mean, even if you're gutting or boning, I mean, whoop, slipping a knife and you're in the backcountry.
You need stitches, you got to put them in yourself.
Pretty much.
Well,
Hold on.
you bring up something there, talking about your pack and what you carry. We're bumping up on our first break here. When we come back, let's talk a little bit about being prepared out there, of some of the things that people need to think about and bring with them when they come out out west. So we're going to step outside. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this.
All right, everybody. Kyle, I got your question ready. Hey, Tom Ginsel, what's happening? Paul from JPO and Amy. Yeah. They canceled Outdoorama.
Yeah, Danny told me that today. I can't believe that.
I got word from Paul this afternoon that they canceled Outdoorama.
That's 2 years in a row now, right?
No.
Were we there last year?
They had it last year.
I can't remember.
I think it was just before the
big mad dash.
Right.
Okay.
So,
gotcha.
But yep, Charles Byram. I know exactly what he's talking about, moving to Iowa from Southern California.
Yeah, he had to go through a retooling or learning of hunting skills in a different area.
Exactly.
You know, and we've heard that from the people that has come up from, like, maybe even down south.
Vice versa.
You know, the guys from down in Kentucky and Alabama, when they came up that winter and did some ice fishing with us, and they were amazed at the shooting houses on the side of the freeway.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So
even the kids from Indiana.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I went down there last year and not last year, year before last, and had to relearn a whole skill set of how to hunt.
Right.
Okay, here we go. Stand by. 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back. Second segment of the show, and we got a question coming in here in the break. So
yeah, from Kyle Sharp. He wants to know, from what you're seeing out there, do you have more crossbow folks or do you have compound folks out west?
Probably a lot of rifle, I would imagine, but for the bow hunters, the archery hunters, do you pay attention to that at all?
For the most part, what I'm seeing with guys out here is just, standard compound bow. It all depends on what you're hunting, and truthfully, it depends on your age.
Okay. I can see that.
Again, it's what do you want to carry into the backcountry? I personally, I got out of bow hunting because the prices went ridiculous, and I couldn't keep up with both.
Right.
Me personally, if I was going to go out antelope hunting, yeah, I'd probably use a crossbow.
Okay.
Simply because I'm used to rifle hunting. But if I could creep up on a bull elk at 20 yards and hear and smell and feel the thunder of his bugle, yeah, I'd be drawing a recurve.
Right on.
Archery seasons for me, with my work and my schedules and my kids, I just can't work it yet.
Gotcha.
But I would love to feel that true experience. Spot, stall, draw 20, 30 yards. I mean, I know modern age now, guys are whacking them at 60 yards. But,
absolutely.
Just still respect for the animal. The closer you can get, do it.
Right on.
So,
oh, absolutely.
I mean,
it all comes down to what you've practiced and what you're comfortable with. But like you said, having that elk at 20 yards, I go with that.
Yeah. Well, you get back to talking about, the guys taking a crossbow. What do you want to take into the high country with you? Getting into that. That's kind of what we want to talk about for this segment. The amount of gear you take, what kind of gear you take, is it weight related and those types of things, and the quality of it. Kind of run through some of the things that people maybe from here in the Midwest that want to plan a trip, have never been out west. What are some of the things they need to be looking at and thinking about when they come out there as far as gear goes?
Okay, so first and foremost, I'll just put it out here. Being in Wyoming, for a non-resident, you guys got to have your tags in by February 2nd.
Next week?
No.
Next Tuesday?
No, actually, just kidding. February 1st.
Oh, okay. I see what you did there.
Yeah. But so February 1st for non-residents on big game hunting. So that's antelope, elk, deer.
So this year's probably out for people that are thinking about it. If they haven't done it.
But,
you got a couple days.
But the plan-aheaders that have already done it that could be listening, if you're fortunate to draw, congratulations. Wish you the best. Number one thing I gotta stress to people is coming from Michigan and then coming to Wyoming, or even if you're going to Idaho, Montana, Colorado, elevation, huge. So I work out, I guess you could say 365 days a year. I mean, I continually to do it. I mean, I work out 5 days a week. I take 2 days rest. The thing is, keep your cardio, yada, yada, yada. I mean, the bottom line, you'll read on the internet, you'll see it on posts, T-shirts, stickers. You're not mountain tough until you're in the mountains.
Right.
And the mountain will always beat you. I promise you that. Unless you have horses or a guide or whatever. But
I understand it. I mean, we were out in 08, man, and it kicked my butt. I mean, it slammed me. So, and I respect you guys that are out there.
Yeah. So, hey, Michigan resident, you drew your elk tag, you hook up with an outfitter, or however you guys plan to do it. The number one thing I would recommend is, as soon as you draw your tag, you don't have to join a gym or anything. I mean, I strictly work out in my basement with minimal stuff. But just get out, start walking, walk.
Walk with a pack?
Start out walking, and then there's two things besides your rifle and everything. I mean, the essentials, but two main things you're going to need out here is going to be a good pair of boots and a decent pack. Unless you're with an outfitter with horses and everything, you guys aren't packing anything. But when it comes to boots, there's a bazillion things out there. Everybody can get on Facebook or internet, research what you need to do. I like what I wear. I'm not going to name drop anything, but mine are comfy. It took me 6 months to break them in.
So don't come out there with a brand new pair of boots.
No, do not. Don't think you're, Walmart hikers are going to make it out here. No, they're not. You're going to hate yourself. You're going to kill yourself. Invest in the money. Get a good pair of boots. When it comes to a pack, if you're with an outfitter or not with an outfitter, depending on your hunt, invest in a good, durable pack that's going to hold the weight on your upper back, upper shoulder area. You don't want anything weighting you down. You're going to kill yourself. You're going to hate it. It's going to be miserable. One thing I want to stress to anybody coming out here antelope hunting, it doesn't matter if you're with a guide or, Joe Blow with his ranch. and you pay X amount to go out and shoot an antelope. You drop an antelope, number one thing, get the hide off.
Get it cooled off.
This is coming from a taxidermist, and anybody that's ever antelope hunted knows, one, you can't drag it because the hide will just shred to nothing. But get the hide off, because the longer it sits, it releases a little bit of endorphins into the meat, and that's where everybody, I'm not eating that stinky goat, because they taste like you know what.
Right.
Like I said, antelope, you wouldn't know the difference between antelope, elk, deer, in my opinion. Besides texture, but get the hide off, get it cooled down, get it in the freezer as fast as you can. I mean, everybody out here knows antelope season, it's 80, 90 degrees, 100 degrees. But back to the main subject, a good durable pack. Don't buy something in your region. There's other companies out there specifically designed for mountain hunting. Cabela's, they make some decent stuff. It's durable, it's good. Long term, that my opinion, it didn't last. So I've upgraded to some pretty expensive gear, but that's my lifestyle.
But like you said, you're paying because you need it to last. There's some things that you might hit a home run on that you didn't pay a lot for it. It's a home run, but typically how it works is you pay for what you get, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I had a conversation with Mike about trekking poles. I bought a cheap $15.99 set, and my buddy had a $120 set. Well, I discovered why.
Right, exactly.
Yep. That is another thing I would recommend is one pole or a stick or something. You guys aren't going to realize until you have that weight on you and you're walking down that hill or mountain how stable it helps you, because you have something to stick in the ground or climb up with as you're going.
Right.
And the other thing I like to tell guys is you get to, from Michigan to Wyoming or Colorado or Idaho, no matter where you're at, try to plan to get ahead of your hunt at least 3 days before. Get acclimated to the weather, the elevation, and don't... the first night you're going to get in town, you're going to want to celebrate, go have a good dinner, drink some beers, whatever, but try to stay away from the booze or whatever until your hunt's done, because that's just going to kill you in the high country.
Right. We got that. A question, speaking of that, a question coming out there from Charles Byram, who's in Iowa. His question is, does a non-resident still need to hunt with a resident or a guide on public land in Wyoming?
So if you're coming out here to hunt, so let's just use deer for an example. If you draw a deer tag in the state of Wyoming, you actually either have to have a guide, so let's say Mike or you, Dan, draw a deer tag and you come out here. So me personally, I would go down to Game and Fish and get what's called a resident guide license. And that would allow me to take you guys into the wilderness. Now, if you're not hunting wilderness, you do not need a guide or a resident to take you.
Okay.
But, do your research. I will name drop on this, Onyx Hunt Maps. Download it.
Right, exactly. Well, that's another thing you can use. You can use base maps. You can use Onyx. Get familiar with where you're going or want to go. Kind of look at the terrain you're going to be, kind of get familiar with it.
And I mean, the other thing I can't stress enough is people are terrified because they think, like, well, we call them game wardens, you know, back home, conservation officers, whatever, but contact Wyoming Game and Fish or Idaho, Montana, wherever you're going, contact the local office of where you're going. That is what those people are there for. That is what us as taxpayers are doing, or hunters and whatnot. That's where our money goes. Those people are there to help you. They will walk you through every process, because I know for a fact, I'm a resident, and shoot, you get on the internet, it's a pain in the butt to figure out some of the stuff. But just make a phone call. They're happy to help and get you on the right track.
Well,
the last thing you want to do is shoot this trophy in the, you know,
Wrong
literally wrong place, and here's your fine and bye-bye.
And I'm sure, like you just said, they are more willing to help you than needing to drag you out.
Exactly.
So it is in their best interest to help you. It makes perfectly sense, and don't be afraid of them. There's also understanding the easements that go along with it out there.
What was that?
Easements.
Easements?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, there's public, private, there's hunter management areas, there's walk-in areas. I mean, there's so many different public, but they're private, that allow you to hunt. And it's simply print off a form off the internet and you're good to go.
Gotcha.
But you got to make sure you got the right form printed out.
Absolutely.
Once again, ask your COs.
Right? What do I need? What do I need to print out?
Yeah.
Do you have?
Yep.
Do you have morel mushrooms out there?
Yes, we do.
There you go. Mark Coleman, get your morel mushroom bag and get you a walking stick and some good boots. Hit the high country.
Tim Syes
Well, I'm
said,
not going to tell you where they're at.
well, no, don't give it away. Make them go look for it.
Got to make them look. You got to hunt for them.
Tim Syes, owner of Limb Walker Game Calls, proud supporter of Up North Journal. He always wanted to go to Wyoming to kill a turkey around Devil's Tower so he can get a picture of it in the background.
That's the guy that you need to get on his show and talk turkeys. I know, Jim, you showed me some of the artwork that you've acquired before the show started. Tim, that's listening right now. Tim, this guy here is nothing but just dead on turkey hunter. He loves the turkey hunt. So
Yeah.
Die hard turkey.
Die hard right onto his body.
right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Mike, you can give him my contact info. Absolutely. I'd love to chat with him, you know, privately and everything, but I would love, I mean, I've lived here 12 years. I haven't seen Devil's Tower personally. I would love to go over there and slam a bird.
There you go.
There you go. And a matter of fact, just as a little bit of information for Tim out there. I know Tim's talked about going down to Florida to complete part of his Grand Slam. So maybe you guys could hook up and do a trip down there. That'd be kind of cool.
Sounds good.
There you go.
Speaking of trips, Denny Steiner has made it back to the United States.
Yeah, I see that.
But he's in quarantine because he was down in Sonora, Mexico.
Yeah, well,
He had a great hunt. I saw the pictures, and now he's in quarantine. So
I don't feel sorry for
for
him.
the next 14 days,
He's going to sit back and take it easy.
right?
So
Exactly.
Well, I'll tell you what we need to do. We need to take another break right now. We're bumping up on our second break. So let's step outside. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll continue the conversation. We'll be right back after this. All right.
All right, folks, keep those questions rolling in.
Save this one off.
Oh, Tim Sia says it sounds good. Syes.
Yeah. We can spend your money for you, Tim, very easily.
Yeah, no doubt.
We can plan all kinds of good trips for you.
Right?
Alrighty. Hang on one second here, and here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back. Third segment. Still sitting here talking about a little bit of hunting out west. You know, we talked about getting acclimated, making sure you got the right boots and the right pack.
I want to know what he said. He went away from the bow to the rifle.
Yeah.
What rifle are you shooting?
With what's going on with our government, I'll just say it's a Michigan rifle and it's 30.06. So,
okay, there you go.
There you go.
But
Now, do you is that an all-around caliber out there for you?
You know that's not the go-to out here. A lot of guys are using the 300s, and of course the long range has gotten, my personal opinion, it's gotten out of control. But it is what it is. You know, to me, it's not hunting. That's just pulling the trigger. So, you know, you want to whack something at 1,000 yards.
I don't get that. I really don't. I get it, but it's like, why?
You know, a really short, cool story. I talked to Game and Fish buddy. He said, you know, I'm not a fan of it because what if that next hunter is in the ridge over going after that same one and you're 2 ridges back, boom. Okay. But he said, personally, I've used one because, you know, somebody wounded something and here's that elk about ready to go 6 more miles, boom, dropped it.
Mm-hmm.
So, pluses, minuses, hunting's hunting. I mean, if you feel you need to order something for 10 grand online that apparently can shoot 1,500 yards out of the box, that's your deal.
Right.
Not mine. Not bashing them. You know, good for them. I've personally gone out with buddies that have those guns, and yeah, it's kind of cool. Boom, 1,000 yards, ting. But that's just not my thing.
Okay.
I mean, I hand load. I reload my own stuff, and mine's a tack driver, and I'm proud.
That's all you
need.
Who do you need to make happy? Yourself.
But
bingo.
you know, it goes back to history, boys. What's the one rifle that killed more big game in North America?
Yep.
30-30.
Yep, absolutely.
The
Yeah.
old mule kicker. You know, we talked about backpacks. We talked about boots. We talked about.
I want to talk about clothing.
Well, 1 second. We got one question here. Optics. You don't need a good optics out west, do you?
No, absolutely not.
Not at all.
Your optics of choice would be?
Me personally, I run Vortex. Hands down, can't beat their warranty.
Good choice.
Love it. I still, to this day, I run a 10x42 HD. It's amazing. I actually have 3 sets. Truck, myself, and whoever's with me has a set. So, you know, it's phenomenal, and technology keeps getting better and better and better. But yeah, when you come out west, glassing is key. That does not mean you have to go spend, you know, X thousands of dollars on a Soraya, you know, spotting scope. No, just invest in a good pair of binoculars. I mean, when I lived in Michigan, I was using a 10x42 Bushnell Walmart brand binocular. I got out here, nope, not working. Doesn't happen.
Right, exactly. It's all set for where you're at. You're the hunting you're doing. It's all set up for that.
Absolutely.
Whether it be your gun, your optics, your boots, your backpack, or your clothes.
Absolutely. You know, Jim, you and I talked the other night when we were kind of running down some things to talk about. And the one thing that, when you and I talked about hunting clothing, my thought immediately went to well, you need something to stay warm and stay dry. That was the two key things I thought about. But you brought up a third point that I never, ever thought about, and that was the weight. Talk a little bit about that.
So when I first moved out here, I mean, my boots, my clothing, everything was for sit in my deer stand and hunt. And, you know, I went a couple years that way, and I'm just like, no, I can't do this anymore. I mean, it was like dragging an extra 60 pounds with me. So as technology has furthered itself, I mean, everybody knows the brands of layering clothing. I'm not going to name drop anything. But for me personally, I have friends, and I mean, I went with Scree. I'm not going to name drop, but I am. But the guys have treated me well, and their warranty is phenomenal. Their camo patterns have broken through for the Western mountain hunter. But what it comes down to is, like I told you, Mike, the clothes I was wearing literally was like 6 pounds. Now I'm down to like ounces of weight.
Right.
And it's layer, shredded off. You have your puffy coat when it's freezing cold. And I mean, the first time my puffy coat arrived in the mail, I'm like, what is this bag? How is this going to keep me warm? And I was elk hunting this year. It was 4 below zero, blowing, and I was sweating.
Right.
But I mean, it starts with a good merino wool base layer, and then it's comfort, and go up from there. Yeah, socks are a factor out here. You don't wear the big wool socks. I mean, you just sweat, and then you get blisters and so on and so forth. I mean, it's all merino wool, breathable stuff. A lot of people don't know, but like Fit makes a killer hiking sock. Even for you guys back there, snowshoeing or just even out ice fishing, it's really sweet because they don't have any seams in their socks, so nothing bunches in your boots or anything. They're just super comfy. But you know, back to the main source of like clothing, it's base layer. You know, and it literally comes down to ounces when you have all that in your pack to get to camp and make whether it's a weekend, a day hunt, or 10 days. You also got to remember you're probably carrying out a couple 100 pounds of meat too. So
that's the goal.
You know,
that's what you're there for.
And number one thing, eat healthy, eat right. I mean, if you can shred some pounds, do it. I mean, when I moved out here, I was so out of shape, overweight. I thought I was good. I mean, I'm in Mike's boat. I mean, I've lost 61 pounds. I mean, I feel like I'm 20 years old again, and it's mind blowing.
It changes your life.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it is a whole lifestyle change of eating right to staying focused on working out, yet getting out and doing something. It doesn't mean, you know, crank weights or anything. It's cardio. It's eating right.
It's being active.
Absolutely. I mean, I still love my ice cream and Oreos, but you know, it comes
in moderation. That's all good, fine and dandy.
Absolutely.
You're not going to sit there with the whole bag of Oreos and count them down, right?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
I would, but
maybe once a year.
Right?
But hey, time out. I mean, Thanksgiving, Christmas. It's
okay. We get that. Denny Steiner says. Bow hunting is what those animals were made for. Says the guy who shot an elk at 103 yards.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good story.
With a bow.
Yeah.
So, you know. Says that guy.
Right.
But yeah, so like you said, so you're going to go out west. You got to take the time to get your license, do your homework, pay attention to where you're going. Like you said, be prepared for everything, and start figuring out whether it be your boots, your gun, or your bow.
Socks, base layers, clothing.
And like you said, if you're going to be there for a weekend, a week, it's all sometimes got to be on your back.
Well, don't forget, too, when you go out like that, like Jim's saying, when you go out, and if you're out there for a week or even a weekend, you're carrying food, you're carrying water that's got to go with you, and other gear. So when you're cutting a few pounds here and a few pounds there, whether it's your own body weight or whether it's your gear, like you said, 6 pounds for clothing, that means you can carry something else that you need. You know, when you can cut that weight that way. It's to me, that's the important thing.
You know, number one thing is going to be, you know, your health and safety. Do your homework, like you said. Remember, you're coming into bear country. Like, you know, read like situating your camp and hanging stuff and
right,
coolers.
exactly.
You know, you just can't leave your cooler in the back of your truck down in the high country because something's going to get into it.
Yeah, don't invite trouble.
Absolutely. So, you know, be safe. The other thing is, you know, there are some scumbag outfitters. Do your research. Do your research on your outfitter. Ask. Get on the internet. I mean, just be cautious. It's going to cost you, you know, a small fortune, but it's a bucket list, once in a lifetime hunt type thing. I just hate to see guys, you know, be disappointed, but just do your homework, do your research. You know, if you're fortunate to draw, get in shape, work your tail off, because you know as well as I know it's a once in a lifetime thing. Do it right.
Like you said, it's a once in a lifetime thing. Don't make it the last thing you do.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that stuff happens. People going out not being prepared physically or mentally or with the right gear. You know, mistakes can happen, and don't be the one that makes that mistake because you weren't prepared.
One thing I will add, if you come out here rifle hunting from, you know, back east, shoot your gun before you hit the high country. It's gonna be off. Elevation will change your ballistics.
Oh yeah, you definitely, no matter whatever you do when you're traveling, whether you're going wherever you're going out west, you definitely should shoot to see if something got hit, got nicked, got whatever. But
yep.
And on top of that, like you just said, elevation changes. What you thought you did back wherever at home is now changed.
Right. Absolutely.
So Mark Coleman just asked, he said, you're glad that you made the move. It sounds like it. What's the one thing that you really miss about Michigan?
The beaches and trees. Like big maple oak trees, the colors, miss it.
You know, you guys have got, aspen out there. A lot of aspen, a lot of evergreen too. So you don't have big timber though, huh? I mean, what we think of as big timber back here, oak and maple.
Oh yeah, no, they don't have big timber stands.
So, yeah, I can see that. And beaches, yeah, we got a lot of beaches here in Michigan. We're lucky, you know, with the Great Lakes and everything, but I can see that too. So, I'll tell you what, let's take our last break and come back.
And I stand corrected on my Denny Steiner. I'm sorry, it wasn't 103 yards, but it was only 100 yards.
It was 100 yards.
Shot the
He just corrected you. I see that.
Corrected me. And by the way, he says he's 70, and it's no picnic going out there.
Oh, no. The older you get, the harder it gets.
Right.
So. All right, well, I'll tell you what, let's take our last break and come back. I want to touch base on another thing that you and I had talked about briefly when we come back, and I'll refresh your memory when we do.
And I would be amiss if I didn't remember the questions.
All right. We're going to step outside. We'll be right back after this.
All right, folks, last break. We got our questions coming up. I'm not going to forget Tammy.
Yeah.
I'm going to restroom real quick. I will be right back.
No problem at all. We'll sit here and we'll We'll talk to the folks out in Facebook that
Dan will do a soft shoe.
exactly. I'm sorry, Denny, that I threw you under the bus with your wife.
Well, it depends on what state you're in.
I was just about to say
Because
that,
certain
'cause-
states is 7 days, certain states are 10 days, some are 14. I
Right.
think here in Michigan it's 10.
and he's in Illinois, so
It must be 7 down there.
hope. And,
Dan,
yep, practice what talking about. Practice, right? Exactly, Kyle. If you got to practice. So it's one of those things that, like you said, it's a once in a lifetime to go out there, but you got to be prepared because you don't want to make it your last hunt and you come home in a box.
right.
You know, you hear about it here in Michigan that somebody has a heart attack,
Sure.
dragging a deer or whatever. But do whatever you can to get out there. Do
Well,
your
that's
homework.
the other thing. I mean, people don't realize, like, you're not dragging anything. You're boning it down or
Quartering it. Taking
quartering it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a sharp knife.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not drag it to the truck and go home.
Right. No. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back. Last segment of the show. We talked about a lot. We covered a lot of just the basics tonight. And that's kind of what we wanted to talk about was the basics. We didn't want to do any deep dives right now. Actually, Jim, you and I talked about this. At some point, we're going to want to get you back on and pick specific subjects and do those deeper dives for these guys that might be planning these trips. But the other night,
sure.
you and I, we talked a little bit about safety. We were talking about camping and those types of things. But the one thing, and you sent me a picture on it, and I do, not a deep dive, but I just want to, let me throw the picture up here before we even go to it. And people are going to say, what? But it's just this nice little device. It's called a jet boil. And, I've heard people talk about them. I know what they are. And I understand why these are important for guys that are going into the high country. Talk a little bit about what they are and why they're so important.
That's first thing that goes in my pack besides my licenses. That thing is a lifesaver when it comes to, I use a Sawyer straw to, filter my water and everything, but sometimes it can freeze or break or malfunction. Here, instantly, boom, you're boiling a handful of snow or, stream water. It doesn't matter, but, you get to hiking around in the high country and, kill something or you don't, and you get back to camp, and I mean, first thing you want to do is get your boots off and get something warm in your belly. And, there's a bazillion different ready-to-eat meals. Just add water, but just the fact you can flip, the thing weighs minimal ounces. It's in your pack, and you have a high-calorie, nutritious meal in your stomach. You can brew a cup of coffee in the morning if you need to. Simple things to first aid. You have hot water to clean something, of that nature. But you can get on the internet and see the what you can do with a jet boil is phenomenal. I mean, I think one of the pictures I sent you, that was years ago, but I was heating up a bottle while we were camping for my daughter.
Mm-hmm. Something as simple as that.
So what you can do is you can boil water in 100 seconds, and the overall thing, the pack, carrying case, et cetera, weighs 13.1 ounces.
Absolutely.
Kyle Sharp just says he's surprised that I don't have one in my pack to take to the deer stand to make coffee during rifle season. There's been times I always take my thermos. That's the one thing I do. I take a thermos full of coffee, and where I hunt, I'm close to the building or the lodge where I can get back and forth to get more if I need it. But you know what? Some of our stands up there they're not jet boils, but they're little tiny box stoves. I mean, we're talking like half less than half the size of a mailbox. Same type principle, you know, whether it be gas or some of them, I think you can burn a little bit of wood in just to get something hot. These little tiny boxes can boil soup on them, things of that nature. But same premise. But these things are like ultra light. Now, how long does one of those cans of fuel typically last?
Whew. I couldn't even tell you. I mean, I have 2 cans. One's like the bigger style, and then one's the mini. The one fits directly in my jet boil, and it all collapses together. But that thing is, my jet boil's probably 9 years old, and those are the 2 tanks I've ever owned. I have not replaced one yet, and I use that every year. I'll use it in the summer, just up camping,
wow,
so on and so forth. They're phenomenal, and now the attachments you can get for jet boils is mind blowing. They have skillets and cups and bowl. It's getting phenomenal with technology of what they can do. And I mean, my jet boil is the mug and everything. I mean, they even make just the stand with the burner to do whatever you feel you need to. I mean, cook a can of corn on it if you need to.
Exactly. And it says here on the website that 1 can, which is 100 grams, will approximately boil 12 liters of water.
Okay.
Is how they define it.
That's a small. That's a small one.
That's the 100 gram, or 100 gram.
Yeah.
So you know, like you said, you know, depending on how often you use it, it could last for a long time because it's pretty darn quick, right?
Right.
Yep.
No, that makes sense. But it just seems that is the one piece of gear that maybe people here in the Midwest that was going out there for the first time might not think about. You know, if they're going to be out there for a while, you know, because, you know, you typically think, hey, I'm going to go out, I'm going to, you know, build a base camp out there and stay for, you know, a week, 10 days, what have you, and you're thinking campfire, whatever. You know, well, if you get into a situation where you need something quick, you know, that's one sure way to make it happen.
Yep. Like I said, it's a warm meal in your belly.
One good question from Mark Coleman is, out there, how good is your cell phone? Or should you have a watch with you for the shooting hours or whatever you need? What's the cell phone coverage out there? Because everybody's like, oh, I use my cell phone. Mm-hmm. But what's it like out there?
It's hit or miss. I mean, depending if you have Verizon or AT&T. You know, I have my cell phone on me. Usually it's on airplane mode just to save battery. I have a fold-out solar panel for plug-in use, you know, to flashlights, headlamps, everything. But for the most part, you know, I'm hunting.
Not busy.
My phone's not there. A few of my friends have gone to the, I think it's like Spot On or what, it's a little GPS, a lot of snowmobilers use it. Instantly push a button, you can send a text via satellite or connect to search and rescue or whatever.
Oh, okay.
I've never gotten into that because, one, I don't solo hunt. I'm always with somebody or they know where I'm at. So if I don't check in by B, it's either I got something and they're going to come look for me, or something happened and they're going to come look for me.
Right.
So, I mean, there's, you know, wives, girlfriends, you get up on that mountain, yeah, you're going to get service. But, you know, there's been times I look down and it's like, holy crap, I have service, and you're like in this ravine. But
right.
You can be driving down the highway and boop, drop call. So it's hit or miss, but like I said, for the most part, when I'm hunting, that thing's like in my pack, and hopefully there's enough battery to take a picture.
Right, exactly. And you said for your water filtration, you were using the Sawyer straw, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Why that one and not something else? What do you like about that one?
I honestly got on and just reviewed
Okay.
elk forums, hunting forums, and that was like the go-to one. There was plus and minuses of different ones, but for me, it's worked well. The number one thing, don't let it freeze.
Yeah, if you got water,
That would be bad.
If you're trying to get water, you don't want them to freeze.
Right.
Oh, that's good stuff.
So we're in our last segment.
Yeah, you got enough time. I got about just
Okay.
enough time.
All right, because I would be amiss and get yelled at if I don't ask you our typical questions that we ask all our interviewers at the end of our show. So we're gonna hit you up with our questions. You ready?
It's
Sounds
easy.
good.
It's easy stuff. It's good fun stuff. So
That's right.
we won't throw you under the bus.
And it works out really well because the first thing I'm going to ask you is you are driving out to your spot, wherever you're going to go hunting, glassing, whatever you're going to be doing out in the outdoors. First thing you're going to do is you're going to turn on something. What are you going to listen to on the radio?
Well, out here we're selective radio, so I have XM
What station?
and the highway.
All right.
All right, all right. Just go down one more to Prime Country and you're good. It's okay. It's all right. Just back up one station. You're all right. Okay, you're jamming to the highway on XM or Sirius. You're driving along, and all of a sudden, you gotta have a snack in the truck or something, or in your backpack. What's your favorite snack? Your go-to snack that you would have either in your truck or in your backpack?
Typically, like in my pack, I mean, it'll be granola bars or apples. But probably one of my go-tos is sardines. Anything light, simple, easy. It's kid friendly, but yeah, lip filler. Yeah,
I got you.
Kind of craves your appetite.
The
but
guy
it's
talks about
bad habit.
the guy talks about bears and he's having sardines.
Yeah, there you go.
What's wrong with that equation? Not gonna lie, that just
Oh,
Buried under a rock.
there you go.
there you go. All right. So, another question. Mike and Dan are going to come out and visit you. You're going to make us what you consider your favorite meal. What meal are you going to make Mike and Dan for dinner?
Wild game.
Well, so like I told Mike, I haven't had like store-bought beef in probably 8 years now. So my freezers are full of wild game. We would probably do the old school at-home Midwest recipe, and that's going to be take some elk loins, roll them in some seasoned flour, and get the Fry Daddy skillet out and do some mushroom onions and then fry them up. Some, I call them fried elk loins or deer loins or however venison, but I don't eat potatoes anymore. Just watch my carbs and whatnot. But it's you guys visiting. We'll probably do some raw frieds and a veggie and have at her.
All right, I like that.
Sounds good to me.
Right, exactly. So, last question. We've had a great meal. We're sitting around the bonfire. You're going to tell us a story that really hits you that you want to tell us, whether it be from a long time ago or it just happened. But what would be your story that you're going to tell Mike and Dan about? Something that, memory or whatever.
Probably the coolest memory one I got was slamming my first double bearded turkey with the kids in the car.
Wow.
I know it sounds horrible, but we were actually driving out to turkey hunt, and the kids were sleeping in the car, and I look over out in the field. Here's this strutting gobbler, and I was like, "Oh, stop the van!"
Is that the picture you sent me?
Was it both kids standing side by side?
One sitting on
bird?
one sitting on the ground and one sitting on your lap.
No, that was my second double-bearded one.
Okay.
But yeah, so I had her back up so I could, one, get my gun out, and then kind of sneak up and crawl, and she was like, "Well, I'd like to get the girls up and everything," and before I knew, boom! Well, they both woke up, and they come running out, and, you know, "Daddy got a bird," and I mean, my kids, I should send you some videos of, I mean, my 2-year-old blowing through an elk call, my 4-year-old can bugle turkey call. I mean, they just love it. But family stories, it just, I mean, I could go on for hours of hunting stories to tell you guys. I mean, bear encounters, but I mean, that was my one true favorite, having both my girls out there killing a bird.
Well, I am glad that you got one not with the van, but outside the van, because a friend of mine, my friend of mine got a turkey with his car, and it only cost him about $5,000.
Wow.
Flying bowling balls.
Right?
No kidding.
Yeah, exactly. And so that is awesome. Your first double beard, awesome.
Well, there's one other question down here that I saw that we didn't ask pertaining to the outdoors. I kind of backtracked just a little bit because actually this is something you and I had touched on briefly the other night. Shed hunting. One of the guys was asking, you know, is it legal for people out of state come out there and shed hunt and pick them up, and can you sell them, or are you not allowed to sell them?
I personally, I don't know the whole regs on a non-resident coming out here. I don't even want to say yes or no because I don't want to put my foot in my mouth. Yeah. Call Game and Fish and see what it is. For us, I mean, it's east or west of the Continental Divide. There's different time frames and this, and I mean, down in Jackson, like down on the Elk Refuge, it is just a huge goat rope and rodeo of guys heading back in because they literally open the gates and it is boom, whoever can head out. I mean, for us out here as residents, depending where you're at, you just got to follow Game and Fish timeline. You know, if there's critters in the area, you know, don't push them, don't stress them type thing. You know, there's guys that make a living off shed hunting. Me, it's getting to be spring. Hear of, you know, deer dropping or whatever. It's head up into the high country. There's still a buttload of snow, you know, and that's where I was talking to you, Mike, about snowshoeing and this and that. But it's just to get up there. And I mean, to find something, that's a trophy on its own. But for, you know, in my opinion, shed hunting these day and ages have gotten out of control because the price of what guys get per pound anymore. But, you know, there's people that got to make a living off of it, doing furniture or, you know, fixtures and this and that, dog treats. But, you know, my thing, it's just fun to get out, and it's getting to be spring. Things are getting pretty, and
it's time to get outside.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, I tell you what, we're running up here on the end of the show. We'll wrap up the podcast portion of the show, but we'll hang out here online for a minute or two afterwards if anybody's got any questions.
Well, I got
on the live
one
stream.
question for you.
Oh, go ahead.
This goes back way back when. This was your go-to ending question. Granted, they're a little outdated, but what's on your iPod or your playlist?
What's on mine right now? What I really like to listen to is what's called.
What gets you pumped?
What gets me pumped up? It's called hip hop. It's country, kind of like a country rap. Colt Ford, and
nice.
I love Colt Ford and the Lax.
Nice.
You know, you can, if for those of you who know who I'm talking about, you know what that stands for. So we'll just leave it at that.
Yep. Yeah.
But actually, both of them come to Flint quite a bit and play at the Machine Shop pre-COVID.
Nice.
I don't know if that'll happen, anytime soon, but I would like to see both of them in concert. So that's probably my go-to.
Well, I'm still a Michigan boy, and mine's Eminem.
There you go.
There you go.
Nothing wrong with that either. Well, I tell you what, we'll go ahead and wrap her up. Like I said, we'll hang out here for a few minutes if there's any questions coming in online. But for the podcast portion, that'll do it for us this week, folks. Next week, Danny.
Oh, next week. So 2 things we got. Next week, first show in February, we're going to have Lincoln Ronan from Packermax.
Okay.
And then the week after that, we're going to have Paul and Amy on from JPO Calls.
Alrighty. So next week we'll be talking a little bit about getting ready for food plot season.
Absolutely. Talking about getting that food plot ready. It's January. Well, it'll be February, but you know what? Got to start thinking about what you need to do.
Yeah, it's going to happen quick. So that'll do it for us this week, folks. We'll be back here again next Thursday night, same time, 7:30. Y'all take care. Okay, for everybody on the live stream, if you've got questions, throw them at us quick. Mark Coleman says, thanks, Jim. He really enjoyed it.
Denny Steiner says, good show, guys. Sorry, Denny, if your wife gets mad at you. Just make her a good breakfast, like I've seen you posting your pictures of what breakfasts you're making. So I'm sure if you make her a good breakfast, all's good.
Every day he's posting a weapon and breakfast.
I know, right?
I like it.
I know. It's kind of make you.
It's a nice combination.
Kinda
Every
make you
morning you see
hungry.
that on my Facebook feed. So
Thank you, Tammy.
It's good
We
stuff.
try to do our best. And I won't get yelled at.
So out there for you guys right now, what's the next hunting season? I got to imagine right now it's probably predator and then probably what, turkey?
Let's see. There's still duck and goose season going.
Is that a big thing out there? Waterfowl?
It is.
Is it? It's probably not as big as it was here, though, is it?
It's pretty. The
Pretty serious?
diehards. Well, I mean, you got to figure. So many people from different areas have moved here.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, duck hunting, goose hunting's gotten fairly big. Pheasant hunting, chucker, that kind of, late season stuff. But yeah, I would honestly say the next thing is going to be turkey.
Okay. And out there you've got what, Rios or Miriams?
We have 3. We have Rios, we have Miriams, and then we have crossbreeds.
Okay. So you're out there in that area where you kind of got each.
So personally, where I live, we have Miriams, and we have Rios, and we have crossbreeds. So if you go to the east side of the state, it's pretty much all Miriams. You get into the Black Hills there. I mean, our turkey population is thriving out here.
Okay.
They actually finally this year opened up a fall general season.
Okay.
So
Wow.
it was pretty awesome. So I had other things to take care of during that time period, but
Right.
I mean, I went out and just couldn't get on the birds. I didn't stress about it. It was a turkey, big deal.
Right.
I got to go shoot an elk.
Right.
So,
You got to put food on the table.
right.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it doesn't say there's a whole lot coming, or it doesn't look like there's a whole lot coming in here for questions and stuff. So let's go ahead and wrap up. Jim, once we wrap up, just hang online with us for a minute, and we'll wrap up with
Sure.
you. But guys and gals, for those of you who are watching the show right now, go over to our Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram. Give us a like, follow, share, YouTube,
Subscribe.
any of our social media accounts, and if you do happen to catch the podcast, if you're catching the audio portion of it at some point, go over to iTunes and give us a review over there as well. That helps us out, which in turn helps out the people who support us. And we can't do this without them. So we want to work together with everybody here. And give us a share on the show as well if you like what you're hearing or seeing. Throw it out there on your social media site so others can see it. That'll do it for us this week. Next week, like we said, everything goes according to plan.
Lincoln Roan,
We got
Packer
Lincoln
Max.
Roan on from Packer Max. So y'all take care, and we'll be back again next week, same time, 7:30 next Thursday. Y'all take care.